Marvel Rivals is the gift that keeps on giving. With it being one of the biggest games of the year, it got me thinking about some of the skins I would love to see in the game. Hey Internet, I'm Chris, and this is the place on the internet where I talk about comics, movies, games, and things I'm generally passionate about. I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals, my son is home from school, my brother got to visit me, so it's been a lot of fun. But as a comic book fan, and also a fan of this game, it's got me thinking about what skins I would like to see in the game. So here we're going to break down the top 10 skins I would like to see in Marvel Rivals. Number 10, Jeff in a suit. Yes, Jeff the Landshark in a suit. Now, Jeff the Landshark is probably the character that's benefited the most from the popularity of Marvel Rivals. Jeff's popularity has risen, his first appearance has shot up in value, and obviously people either hate him because they've been thrown off the map by him, or they love him because they've been the one throwing enemies off the map. But there is no doubt Jeff is the biggest star of Marvel Rivals. He's a hard character to kind of bring up in terms of different variants and skins because he's only really appeared in the comics and in this game. But in the comics, because he is a fun-loving character and cute and is almost like a baby Yoda figure, he's had a lot of little cute designs. And in one comic, he actually wears a suit. Now I would like this because it'd give him a bit of a different look and kind of, it's just cute. Like, it would be funny if Jeff the Landshark just threw you off the map in a suit. I just think it'd be funny, and it's a game, and it's a fun game, and before they take that out of the game and nerf him, I would love for them to implement this skin, because, again, for the bit, I'm for it. Number 9, Classic Winter Soldier. Now, Winter Soldier is also a very popular character right now, but, with Marvel Rivals, he's already was a popular character. Obviously, one of the best Marvel movies ever was Captain America and the Winter Soldier. He's been a part of the greatest Captain America stories ever told. So Bucky does have his moments. But I think the design in the game does stray a little bit far from what the traditional Bucky Winter Soldier is. Not too far, like it's its own thing. It's hyper stylized, and Marvel Rivals gave its own twist on things. But I would like to see the classic domino mask, also the star on the arm, like give him a little bit of that Russian sleeper agent that he had when he first appeared in the comics, and also a little bit of what he looked like in the MCU. And with the MCU, like, I think now, because of those movies, they've been giving him more of the face covering than the mask, which is cool. I think the face covering is actually like a leg up in terms of the design. But now, as we get further away from the classic one, it would be cool to see him with the domino mask again, because that is a callback to when he was Bucky. So I would like to see that. Number 8, while we're on the classic tip, I would love classic Hawkeye. So Hawkeye in this game is probably a lot closer to what he looked like in the Ultimates comics. Clearly nothing like what he looks like in the MCU, and also pretty far from what he looked like in his early appearances in the comics and what he's traditionally been known for. When Matt Fraction wrote the character, he's kind of looked like that, and obviously the movies picked that up as well. He's a really popular character to hate just because there's so many people that get one-shotted by him. Again, he's like one of those Jeff characters. If Hawkeye is your main, great, but if you've been on the opposite end of a Hawkeye arrow in Marvel Rivals, you hate that character, which, for a lot of people, I get it. But maybe it would ease the pain of a headshot if you got it from a goofy looking Hawkeye, which is what his original costume looked like. And it would just be funny to kind of see in the game, especially sort of the way the game is designed, where you have these lavish maps that are more like futuristic, and a lot of the designs they have that modern design language mixed with the MCU with games, but it would be cool to kind of have that classic comic book look in the game. Number 7, First Class Magneto. Now, the Fox movies, I think people tend to sort of disrespect in a lot of ways and forget that, hey, modern superhero movies or even Marvel Rivals would not exist without what those Fox movies did. And X-Men First Class is up there in terms of my favorite X-Men films. And especially, I like the design, and it's grown on me. Obviously, you have Michael Fassbender. You're not going to be able to get his face scan. But hey, like, it would be cool to have the silver helmet. And like, Magneto's base design in the game, to me, is like, it doesn't feel like Magneto. Obviously, like, he's got the cape, he's got the helmet, but like, I felt like he's just too big. And, I know, like, in Jim Lee's designs in the comics, there are instances where he's like brolic and all that. But I don't know. There's just something about Magneto where he's like lacking the sauce. I probably wish they went with more of a classic design in terms of like the color scheme. I would like something that I've seen in the movies, which is the first class design, because I think that was my favorite design of all the movies. The other ones were just kind of like, hey, he's wearing a cloak and he's got the helmet. And he never really got that like classic look. The closest he got was the end of First Class, where he had sort of the traditional helmet that looked like just that. And now that I said that, I just realized I actually do have a Magneto helmet behind me, so I should have put that on during this clip. And that is why we have the magic of editing. First Class Magneto, get them in. Number 6, while we're on movies and movies that sometimes get disrespected, why don't we talk about Sony Venom? I would love to see Sony Venom in this game as a skin, because I think that like they got it pretty nailed down when it comes to Venom's design. And also some of the like, it is hard to come up with skins for Venom, just because the reality is like, hey, like as long as he's big and got the big insignia in front of him, it's good. And it's hard to really iterate on that design. And when you iterate on it, you get something like Spider-Man 3 Venom, which like I don't hate, but I think part of the reason that movie did not appeal to fans at the time is that, hey, like Venom is a very simple design. What Todd McFarlane did in the 90s is perfect. You don't really have to iterate it on that much. And even some other great designs like Ryan Stegman's. Ryan Stegman's is very traditional as well, but you just have those symbiote wings, which would be cool, but then you'd have to like, it'd be hard. Like you'd only be able to show those off in like a winning animation or something like that. So I would like the Sony version of it where you've got the veins, you don't have the spider logo. And then it would be cool to kind of maybe like have like half his face come out every once in a while, just to kind of show off that like, hey, like there's a human under here and all that. And I like the Venom movies. I know like critically they've been panned, but it's clear like they've been successful financially. I kind of compare them to the Transformers movies from Michael Bay. Like as much as those movies were critically panned, it is clear that there was a response from the fans and movie goers that like, hey, like maybe Transformers to us in a cinematic form is just things blowing up and these things transforming, which is fine. Same thing with Venom. Hey, like Tom Hardy is going to do his thing. And then also, as long as Venom is big, has a long tongue, has the teeth, like I said, is very simple, traditional. Yes, he didn't have the spider logo in the middle, which, docks some points. But hey, it's not hard to make Venom Venom, which is why I would go with the Sony Venom skin. Number 5, Spider-Man 2099. Now with Spider-Man 2099, it could be a different character entirely if you wanted to, if you wanted to have a lot of fun. But I think for this character, I would reserve him as a skin. I would go with more of the Spider-Verse interpretation of the character, where he has kind of like the laser web, he has the fangs, he has the claws. You can maybe like play around with his animation when it comes to swinging around and all that. So I think that would be a really fun one, again with a game like this where it's a hero shooter. I don't think you can kind of introduce the same level of variety that you can in something like Fortnite. But Spider-Man 2099, I think, would be a fun skin for Spider-Man, because I think characters like Miles, Spider-Gwen, other Spider characters probably should be their own characters in the game on the roster. And I think Spider-Man 2099, like, I don't know if they're going to have him biting people during a game, so you might as well just make him a skin for Spider-Man and have people have fun with that. Number 4, the Maestro. Now, Maestro is a classic interpretation of the Hulk, and he's been in so many different things, whether it be other games, Marvel's Avengers, which we won't talk about too much. It's a character that people really look at like, hey, what if the Hulk had the brains of Bruce Banner and was maniacal and evil and still had all the strength and was the strongest version of the Hulk? What would that look like? Well, that would look like he would run the world. And Maestro would be a fun addition to Marvel Rivals in terms of his skin. I don't love like I wish just Hulk was Hulk, but I guess like that's why I can never play that character like main. Like, I hate that I have to like transform and stuff. Like, I don't love that. But hey, if you're going to do the transformation bit with Maestro, it'd be cool for him to have like the weird like hair, like when he turns into Banner. Maybe he looks a little weaker and stuff like that, just because he doesn't transform back to Banner too much. So that would be a really fun character to kind of play around with, especially in a setting like Marvel Rivals. Talking about wastelands and post-apocalyptic futures, Old Man Logan at number 3. Now, Wolverine has one of the worst base designs in the game. They gave him like a mix of like a jacket and his yellow and blue design, which it, it just doesn't work for me. It really doesn't work for me. Now, if you're thinking I'm going to go with the Hugh Jackman version of Old Man Logan, no, he's dead. I'm talking about the comic version. And the reason I would go with the comic version as a skin in the game, because you've seen with Wolverine, he has no sauce in the game. Everyone agrees that initial costume for Wolverine kind of sucks. Having something like Old Man Logan, which you would have the tank top, maybe the brown, like you could even throw the hat. I would keep the hat off, give him the white, flat top, give him some scars, maybe play around whether you're going to go with the bone claws or the metal claws. Like, I think that would be a really fun character, and obviously, like, following up on Maestro and going post-apocalyptic, Old Man Logan is one of the great Marvel post-apocalyptic stories of all time by Mark Millar. And it'd be great to kind of see that skin and like go wild on, like, if Jeff throws you off, you could just pounce as an Old Man Logan and destroy him. Like I said, that, and also if you think about it, it's not just a popular comic, but it was a popular film. It was adapted into Logan with Hugh Jackman, and clearly I think that is his best performance as Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine was fun, but there was a reason why they made that movie, and clearly even when they did Deadpool and Wolverine, they made sure to kind of close the door and be like, hey, that version is dead, the door is closed, let's create a new version of Wolverine, still with Hugh Jackman, but so that we don't completely denigrate the grave of Old Man Logan. But I would love that skin, and it's just, I who doesn't love Wolverine? And I would love that interpretation of it, because other ones, we've already seen it. We've already got it like a full suit for Wolverine, which is cool, but like I would love to see Old Man Logan. Now, for the last one, now you're thinking, like, last one? Like, isn't there two more? Well, yes, but it's for the same character. So 2 and number 1 are for the Punisher. Now, number 2, I would go with Franken Punisher, the Frankenstein Punisher, which is like awesome. And I think if they do a Halloween pack next year, that is the number one thing they should do. And they'll probably do it. Like, they're not dumb. Like, that's probably, like, they already have that marked down. They're probably working on the model for it. So Franken Punisher, like, it's only appeared in the comics like a few times, but like, who doesn't love Frankenstein? Who doesn't love the Punisher? And imagine mowing down enemies as Frankenstein. That just would be like, it's cool. Like what else do you need in a skin? So we're going to kind of move on to number 1, where there's a lot more to it, which is Cosmic Ghost Rider. And now I know what you're thinking, like, if you haven't read the comics, but Chris, that's the Ghost Rider. No, Cosmic Ghost Rider actually is Frank Castle, which would be awesome to kind of put in the game. Ghost Rider himself is not in the game, so like, there's no reason to kind of put that as a skin. And also, Cosmic Ghost Rider just uses guns in a cosmic way. So I would just give him the helmet with the flaming skull, maybe change the way his weapons work in terms of like the animations, like it's just lasers instead of like actual bullets. The smoke screen maybe looks a little different, and the smoke gun. And, like Cosmic Ghost Rider, as much as like I love that story of him being like this herald and the last person standing in the Marvel universe in his timeline, it's just like an awesome design. Like quite frankly, I think that book did well just being awesome. Like, it's pure comic books, and I think like Marvel Rivals, part of why it's so great, it's just fun. Like, as much as people complain about like the balancing, which I think they'll get to eventually, and roll queue, which they're not going to get to anytime soon at least, it's just fun. And they should have like wacky, crazy variants of these characters appear in the game. And I think what's great and what they should do is possibly, when you buy the skin, maybe have a digital copy of the comic so that people could read the inspiration, or they'll have a better connection to the creators of these designs. And I think Cosmic Ghost Rider, which, I love that story and then also love that design. I think it would just be awesome to be able to play as him. I don't know if he's appeared in the game, maybe in some of the mobile games, maybe in like Future Fight or something like that. But hey, like, I don't play mobile games, so to be able to like be the Cosmic Ghost Rider like in something like Marvel Rivals would be insane. Now that's it for my top 10 list of Marvel Rival skins I would like to see. Now let me know what skins you'd like to see. Drop a comment. Let me know if you think my list is crazy. Like, why the hell do I have First Class Magneto in there? What do you think? Like, let me know. Do you like it? Do you love it? Leave a like, subscribe, and peace.